And we're back. Mike Cernovich, DangerandPlay.com, Gorilla Mindset. Did you watch Trump's rally? Excuse me. Coughing Mike Cernovich at it again. Did you watch the Trump rally? If so, what did you think? Whoa, better. We gotta stop that. Did you watch it? If so, what did you think? MILO and CPAC. MILO is giving a keynote at CPAC. You know what they're saying? I didn't realize how bad CPAC was. I actually had no idea how utterly pathetic CPAC was. They're trying to get MILO banned. The National Review, Jonah Goldberg, Ben Shapiro, Glenn Beck, they're all trying to get MILO banned from CPAC. This is why people lose. This is why they lose, man. This is why conservatives lose, and this is why they don't have any youth outreach. I did a little demographic analysis. Demographics. And over 60% of my most engaged readers on Twitter are under 35. The youth is on our side. If you're over 35, I'm not shading you. I'm not shading any older people. Hey, I'm not even 35 myself. I'm older than 35. I'm not shading anybody. I'm just saying that the future is on our side. The truth is definitely on our side. MILO did well on Bill Mayer. He had to endure an onslaught of attack. Okay. He made them look like the bad guys. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make liberals look like angry, mean people, then MILO made the right move. That was his move. Let them be that. Let them be the assholes is definitely... Yeah, PewDiePie. You want to talk about a gift from heaven? A gift from the gods? The fake news media took out PewDiePie. PewDiePie is 55 million YouTube subscribers. Here, let's do a Social Blade. Social Blade for PewDiePie. So PewDiePie, they went after PewDiePie. And his user base is, let me see how he's been doing. His user base is 55 million people. What in the world? How is that even possible? So they've now made an enemy. He has done 14 billion 711 million views. 14 billion. 53 million subscribers. Wow. He has gained 895 subscribers in the past 30 days, even accounting for all the people he lost. He's 895. If your YouTube channel were only 895,000 people, that would be a big YouTube channel. If your YouTube channel is 900,000 people, that's a huge channel. That's PewDiePie in a month. That is his net gain. PewDiePie's net gain of YouTube subscribers in the past month is bigger than 99.99% of YouTube channels will be. So now the youth don't trust the media, which is beautiful, right? It's one thing. See, people like me, people like Trump, people like MILO, look, we're no angels. We're no angels. No angels. But PewDiePie is an angel. So when the media goes after me, people might say, oh, that's bull, they're lying about it. People can kind of get it, though. Right? People can kind of get, well, Cernovich, I can be kind of an asshole, I can be aggressive, I can be abrasive. People can get it. They can understand, like, well, I understand why the media's attacking Mike. I might not like it, but I understand it. PewDiePie, it's an utter failure of comprehension. How in the world would they go after him? Right? How in the world would they go after him? I don't know. Was Jack Posobiec banned from CPAC, or they just wouldn't give him a press pass? That's an important distinction. So I don't know if Jack was banned from CPAC or if they just didn't give him credentials, which would be two different issues. I'm not going to apply for press credentials for CPAC because I know I won't get them. Even though I'm a bigger journalist than anybody who's showing up at CPAC, I know that there's no way they would approve it, for sure. They refused his resignation. For real? I got to check that out. So he tried to pay and they wouldn't let him pay? That's astounding. Unreal, really. He tried to register and pay and they wouldn't take it. That is bad. That is bad. So, I'll be at CPAC, but I'm not applying for press credentials because I know I won't get them. So what's the point? By the way, I got a new chair. I've always wanted it, but I never sat in a chair long enough to justify the expense. Here's what you're going to learn. Guerrilla money tip. Guerrilla money mindset. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. So even though I could have afforded a nice chair, anytime I wanted to in my life, right? I didn't use the chair enough to justify the expense because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Well, lately, since I've been in chairs more, doing more YouTubes, more live streams, then I can justify the expense. So then I went out and bought the Herman Miller Aeron chair, right? But I never would have bought it just to buy it. That's how people go broke, right? That's how people go broke. It ain't what you make, it's what you keep. So people think, well, I can afford that. I can get that. I can buy all that. Sure, you can buy it all, but man, money comes, but money goes too. What I couldn't believe was how much CPAC has been going after MILO. What is wrong with people? Wow, so John Fitch has confirmed Donald Trump. There you go. Who has the tougher supporters? John Fitch, Trump supporter. So John Fitch, very tough guy, UFC guy. Now he's in, I think, What's Up World Series of Poker. Pro-Trump, John Fitch, there you go. I hear from pro athletes all the time. Most pro athletes are down low. They can't admit to they read my stuff. And I'm okay with that because I come with a certain amount of baggage. So if you're a mainstream fighter or a mainstream pro athlete, you can't really say, hey, I'm a big fan of Cernovich. I like his journalism. I like his books. You can get in a lot of trouble, right? Because then people say, oh my God, Cernovich, he's a bad guy. Can't believe you know this guy. Can't believe, right? So I don't care. I don't get mad about that. I don't cry because people are careful, right? But I've been telling people you wouldn't believe, or maybe you would. What's up with John McCain? John McCain's a traitor. John McCain is a traitor. Standing no pants is the best way to be a YouTuber. Now I like to sit. I like to sit down. I like to sit down and rock, even though it's a little distracting. I don't mind being a little distracting. I don't mind being a little distracting. Don't really mind. What else we got going on? Yeah, this is coffee, decaf coffee. Kurt Schilling says 85% of pro athletes lead conservative. Hey, they do. A Major League Baseball player, he might have had to delete it, but he was talking about why he was pro-Trump, and people go, well, you better watch out before your teammates find out. And he says, well, almost everybody in the locker room is pro-Trump anyway. Ha-ha, right? I get hockey players, the whole pro sports are pro. I mean, if you think about it, if you're a professional athlete, especially hockey, baseball, those are all American kind of sports, right? Pro-Trump. Even black athletes are way more pro-Trump than people realize, but you can't admit it because they'll call you all kinds of names. Who will take over Flynn's position? I don't know. What's Syra doing? Hanging out with the grandma. The game plan for me, I'm going to take Julius for a good walk. I just had a nice dinner. I had a big dinner, crock pot dinner. I eat out of the crock pot a lot. Why? Do as I do, not as I say. Do as I do, not as I say. I, Guerrilla Money Mindset, eat dinner out of a crock pot. Why? Because it ain't what you make, it's what you keep. I don't care if you make $1 million a year. I'm going to make $1 million this year, okay? I'll make $1 million this year, right? And you know what I do? I eat out of a crock pot. I waited to buy this chair. Waited to buy it. Waited to buy this chair. Why? Because you can't waste your money. And I'm buying a new car used. I'm buying a used car with 30,000 miles on it, and it's a 2014. Why? Because let some other guy have the depreciation. I would not buy it. Why would I buy a new car? If I buy a new car, then it's a depreciating asset. Doesn't care. I'll make $1 million this year. People who don't believe me, as always, can put some money up. If People want to know how much money I make. I always say, put some money in escrow, tough guy. Put some money in escrow, and then you can audit me at the end of the year. Have your tax guy audit me. You can figure it out. You can go ahead, tough guy. I always tell nobody wants to take that challenge. One guy said, I bet you don't make any money. And he goes, I go, okay, I bet you 10 grand I do. And he goes, okay. And then he wanted my tax records from when I was in law school. Because they always try to weasel out of it, right? He was like, what do you want to commit, identity theft? But that's the way they try to get out of it. The point is, it doesn't matter what you make, it's what you keep. Big mistake is you get a little money and then you, right? That's why when people say Donald Trump was born with all that money, right? Donald Trump was born with all this money. A lot of people born with a lot of money. I live in LA, lived in LA 15 years, right? Maybe longer. You know how many people I've met who were born with a lot of money, and you know how much money they have now? They're my age and they're waiting for their parents to die. Do you know how many people my age who were born with a lot of money, the only thing they're doing is treading water, waiting for mom and dad to die, and they're freaking out because life expectancies are up, and they're completely freaking, right? Like, why is it mom, dad? They got nothing. It's not what you're born with. It's definitely not what you're born with. But that's a lot of people. So remember, you got to be smart. That's why I live in a small house. I remember a lot of people when that New Yorker profile, when that 5,000 word profile me New Yorker hit. People go, oh my God, Cernovich doesn't have a hot tub and a pool and a this and a that. And they thought they were shading me. And I go, are you out of your mind? I'm not going to live in the house I can afford it. Remember that. Guerrilla money mindset. It's not what you make, it's not what you keep. I don't live in the house that I can afford to live in. Right? I don't live in a house I can afford to live in. I live in a house that I could afford to not work and still live in. See? That is the big difference. Live in a house where I could not work and afford to. People make a little money. They want to buy the biggest house. They want to buy a new car. They want to buy all the expensive furniture. And they got nothing. So easy. How many fake viewers you got today, Mike? I don't even know what that means. Obviously, you're a real viewer and I blocked you. By the way, hit the like button. We're building up the YouTube. You all liked my periscopes, but I'm building up the YouTube because YouTube's better. So be sure to hit the like button so that we can get it's demoralizing to only have 300 live viewers. I want you to all feel special. See, that sounds bad. If I say there are only 300 people watching live, then that makes it seem like you don't matter, but you do matter. So I don't mean it that way. But I mean it in the sense that I could go on Periscope and have, thousands, but Periscope is a problem. So we're building up the YouTube. So if you like the YouTube, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Mike, a sauna is worth invest. You're right. I go to a spa, and I'm actually going to get my own far infrared sauna. So you are right. You can buy a far infrared sauna on Amazon for $150. And you sit down in a chair and you cover yourself up to the neck, and you can get the far infrared sauna rays. Definitely very, very important. Very important far infrared sauna. What's wrong with Periscope? It makes your phone overheat. The resolution isn't as good. And Periscope is asking for likes equal automatic dislike. Well, sure, I don't care if you dislike it. That's engagement. That's what haters don't realize. It's engagement to me. So you can hit the dislike button too. Because then all that tells people is that I'm a divisive character. And people like divisive. Tell about MILO and CPAC. We already talked about them. What do you want to know? You asked me a question. What do you want to know about MILO or CPAC or Trump and the rally? Go ahead, ask me anything. I'm just hanging out until I had dinner, so I'm just waiting out. What is CPAC? It's the Conservative Political Action Committee. The rally was effective. Trump is good at two things. Trump is great at two things. Rallies and taking on the media. Whenever Trump needs a mindset coach with him 24/7. Bannon is an intellectual, but Bannon is not a mindset coach. Trump needs a mindset coach with him 24/7. You know what the mindset coach has to say? Focus. Focus, President Trump. Hit the media. Hit the media, rally your base. Hit the media, rally your base. Everything else is going to fall into place. Hit the media. Expose the media hoax. Trump needs to be more aggressive on the media. Rather than just say they're fake news media, he has to start linking to the hate crime hoaxes. Because now Trump is being blamed for the rise in anti-Semitism. People go, there's a rise in anti-Semitism, Islamophobia. There's all of this hatred in the world. So Trump needs to link to articles about hate crime hoaxes. Trump needs to say another hate crime hoax exposed. Another hate crime hoax exposed. Another hate crime hoax. Because all of you by now, everybody who follows me on Twitter, whenever there's a story about a swastika or a burning flag or a hood or something, all 210,000 people who follow me are thinking probably a hoax. Everybody who follows me by now sees these stories and they go probably a hoax. Why? Because I follow Mike Cernovich, DangerandPlay.com, Guerrilla Mindset, and he's called out hundreds of hoaxes. So he knows. Trump needs to brand all of these hate crimes hoaxes because they all are. Every day or every week. Right? Focus. That's what you got to tell Trump. Focus. Mike Cernovich looks like a Jew. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Is Jeff Sessions really going after pedos? He's a family man. It's another thing Trump has to do. Go after the media. Rally the base. Go after pedophiles. Go after the human traffickers, the pedophiles, the nasty people. Go after them. High road maneuver. Every time. He should maybe talk about PewDiePie. You want to watch the internet melt down. You want to watch the internet melt down. You want to talk about making a move. These are the kind of things I would have Trump do. Making moves. Unexpected moves, right? I would have him link to an article about the PewDiePie stuff. The internet would explode. YouTube would explode. The fake news media would explode. Though it would be like wild, right? It would be completely wild. And it's just one tweet, just linked to one article. So there's a lot of things like Trump could do that would blow minds. Who do I think the leak is? People on the media are saying that Reince Priebus is the leak. Go read my timeline. Go read my Twitter timeline, which is that a guy from CBS goes, don't let Reince be an anonymous source for you anymore. Read the tweet. Very, very interesting. You have to be like me and be able to, well, you have been trained in this stuff. So if you're like me and you've been trained in this, then you know how to read between the lines. And when you read that tweet that I quoted, he's telling the media, don't let Reince leak any more articles to you because Reince Priebus said no more anonymous sources. He goes, the media shouldn't quote anonymous people. So this guy from CBS goes, or he might be fake Carlos Lumblog, I'm not sure. But he goes, don't let Reince be an anonymous source for you anymore. I found that quite interesting in light of what happened to General Flynn. Quite interesting. I also find it interesting that after I called out Reince Priebus for the lack of hate piece articles, why are there no hate articles on Reince? Suddenly he's trying to take on the media. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. By the way, that's the proper quote. The improper quote is, methinks the lady doth protest too much. It is, the lady doth protest too much, methinks. That's the proper quote. So if you ever hear somebody say, methinks the lady doth protest too much, they are wrong. Just so you know. You're learning everything. You learn Shakespeare here. You're learning the whole thing, man. You learn it all here. Hey, bro, that are chatting, I'll subscribe if YouTube. I don't know what you're talking about. Why is Trump saying he's doing a good job? He's doing a great job. Do I have a college degree? I have a college degree and a law degree. So I have a graduate college, actually. Got a lot of degrees. I got degrees all over the place. Well, if you actually had anything to say instead of just waffling on with fuck all to say, Trump's rally shows how desperate things are in the White House. You idiot. See, you're an idiot. We're in war. We're in war. You got to rally the troops. You got to rally the troops. Goldman Sachs, you know what Lloyd Blankfein does every day with Goldman Sachs? Lloyd Blankfein, Goldman Sachs. You can hate on Goldman Sachs all you want. They're the most crooked people in the world. But they're the best at being the most crooked. So Goldman Sachs are the best at being the most crooked. You got to respect that. You got to respect the hustle. They're the best at what they do. Lloyd Blankfein, you wake up every day, you go into work at Goldman. There's a voicemail from Lloyd Blankfein. Every day, rallying the troops. Every day you do a YouTube. Every day do a Periscope. Why? Troop morale. That people want to see your face. People want to interact, especially if you're in a leadership position. If you're in a leadership position like Trump is, like I am, you have to show your face every day. Keep the people fired up. Keep people charged up. Let them know the general is in the war. The general's here. Every day, you got to fire people up. Coaching. I mean, everybody knows that. High school coach, doesn't matter if you're coaching Pee Wee League Baseball, right? Whether you're coaching Pee Wee League Baseball, President of the United States. Mr. Service, you invest in Bitcoin. Yes, if people had bought Bitcoin when I told them to buy it, well, I don't never tell anybody to buy it. You're the guy that trolled J.K. Rowling on Twitter. My reputation precedes me. The Trump administration took your... Yeah, they always take my advice. That's why I don't throw fits often about Trump, but when I do, I'm extra dramatic. There's a reason for that. Because when the administration is losing focus, I get extra dramatic because that gets attention. And then the right things happen. And I'm in a privileged position where I can get away with doing things other people can't do. Why? Because people know I come from the heart. One guy, hardcore Trump loyalist, big-time journalist, wrote a big book on Trump. Very, very high-level guy. He said, Cernovich is a loose cannon. That's what they call me. That's what the Trump people know me as. Cernovich is a loose cannon. There are pros and cons to that. The con is I could never work for Trump because I'm a loose cannon. The pro is they know that I'm a loose cannon, so if I get up one day and I'm like, you know what? F Reince Priebus, F this. Well, they don't take it personally the way they would with other people because they're like, well, that's just Cernovich, you know. It's like it's priced into who I am. They're like, well, you can't take it personally. That's Cernovich. You know, maybe we should listen to him because he's always right and everything he says comes true. Right? That is, yeah, I don't want to, that's the thing, I don't want to work for him, so it's a different game. Different game. I don't want to work for Trump. I don't want to work for anybody. Why would I work for anybody other than you guys and girls? Why would I give up my dream job? Wake up every morning, hang out with my daughter. Nobody tells me what to do. Write books. If I feel like tweeting. If I feel like tweeting. Why is Joe Rogan... I wouldn't say Joe Rogan's afraid of me. That's overstating things. Joe Rogan does not like to be in the room with an intellectual who will push back hard against him. So that's why this is decaf coffee. I intimidate people because on an intellectual level, they know that I push back hard. And then I'm not afraid to bang. Not afraid to bang. I like to. It's more like you come at me, let's do it. Sam Harris calls me a troll on his podcast. He won't debate though. Joe is a mean drunk to Crowder. Yeah, I watched that. Joe Rogan is a mean drunk for sure. Crowder's a nice guy, a little too nice. Did you all watch the Joe Rogan Steve Crowder thing? It's a decaf, guys. So here's what I didn't like about both. Right? And I say this as somebody who I have praised the Joe Rogan podcast many times. Joe Rogan introduces the world to people that I never would have heard of. I never would have heard of Jordan Peterson. I never would have heard of Wim Hof. So to Joe Rogan, I am indebted because when I saw Wim Hof on Joe Rogan's podcast, I was like, wow, this guy is amazing. I bought the Wim Hof breathing course. I do Wim Hof breathing. So I have a debt of gratitude to Joe Rogan. So I'm pro Joe Rogan. But I'll still call out bullshit. I'll still say Joe is lying when he says he hasn't blacklisted me from his podcast, when he specifically told people, I hate Cernovich and all those pro-Trump guys. Right? So that's just that's an integrity issue. So I'll say I'm pro Joe Rogan, but that doesn't mean I lie to people so that maybe they'll like me and maybe, we'll become buddies and they'll promote me or something. I don't do that. I don't lie. I don't kiss ass. Same reason I don't work for Trump. I don't kiss ass. And Crowder is a great, nice person. But Crowder is saying, Joe, you're bullying me. Crowder is saying, Joe, you're bullying. Crowder, don't. Don't say that. I say that as a pro-Crowder guy. Crowder, Joe is going hard at you. Joe is banging. You are in the octagon of intellectuals. You're in the squared circle. You're banging. It's a fight. I don't want to hear anything about you being bullied because Red Band is looking up facts. Joe, you're bullying me. You have a guy to look up. Don't. Especially if you're going to make fun of the SJWs and trigger warnings and safe spaces. Is the Joe Rogan podcast a safe space? That would be my question to Crowder. Crowder, do you need a safe space on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about being bullied? Right? Joe, you're bullying me. Come on. If you're going to criticize snowflakes, you're going to criticize... Yes, I read the live chat. If you're going to criticize snowflakes, you're going to criticize people who complain about bullying and safe spaces, then don't be the guy who says you're being bullied. Have you ever heard me say I've been bullied? Have you ever heard me say I've been bullied? And I've been attacked by you name it. You've never heard me say I'm being bullied, at least not unironically. Why? Because you can't bully an adult. I got bullied as a kid. When you're a fat kid growing up and you're forced to go to school and you go to public school and 5 kids circle around you and beat the hell out of you, yes, you're being bullied. You're being bullied. When you are a 22-year-old man, Harold Crowder is 27, 30, when you're a grown-ass man and you're arguing with somebody, you're not being bullied, you're in the arena. You're in the arena. You're not... Travis, you're banned. If you don't like what I'm saying, you're banned. You can't be bullied as an adult. Cyberbullying isn't real. Being bullied during the debate isn't real. When the New York Times lies about me, I'm not being bullied. When people in the media make things up, I'm not being bullied. You can't. Okay, I don't want to hear anybody talk about being bullied because people